And this cute young guy is going to ask me a lot of questions about my dance competition. How's that?
All right, this is perfect.
I'm Wendy Johnson, and I'm co-organizer of Holiday Dance Classic. Well, I must have had it like 21 or 22 years. Yeah. My current business partners have been in it not as long as that. And this competition originally was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I bought into it, number one, because Chris Morris wanted me to, he was a famous dancer at the time, but mostly because it had poinsettias and it was at Christmas. So I thought, oh, I love the feeling, and that's what I wanted to do. And we moved it to Las Vegas, and we were really worried that moving it from Arizona to Las Vegas mightn't really work. And we moved it to the Monte Carlo Hotel and outgrew the Monte Carlo Hotel in 1 year. So it's been in Treasure Island, Caesar's Palace, Venetian, Paris, Luxor, and now we finally moved it to the Tropicana. Well, we'll be here for 5 years, and we've done 1 year. This is our second year. And we'll probably move it because I like moving it around from hotel to hotel. It's kind of interesting to have a different venue and different vibe. This ballroom is the biggest ballroom we've had, and as much as I love the Luxor, because I love that feeling of the pyramid, and the ballroom is a very pretty ballroom over there on its own. We didn't have any practice areas, limited vendor space. We're a bit cramped in there. So in this hotel we could spread out a little bit. The difficulty then becomes to try and make the ballroom look beautiful because it is bigger. And so this year I was quite pleased with how we created. I went out and bought some bigger Christmas trees and more lights and created a different feeling in here. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Well, the competition steadily grew, and now we sort of maintain somewhere between 11 and 12,000 entries, which is, hey, it's great. If it stays like that, I'll be a very happy lady. Yeah, we have some people from Singapore this time, and we have some people from Russia. Over the years, we've got periodically people from Hong Kong, not so much Japan, but sometimes, quite often from Russia. We had some New Zealanders 1 year, because I've started Pro-Am dancing in New Zealand, so they came over here, and we've had Australians. So yeah, it's getting more and more people are interested in Pro-Am, so it's getting, and of course Canada is a different country, you know, so we have Canadians here. We have quite a lot of Canadians here this year, and we have several Canadian judges. Oh, always the second weekend of December, however that falls. Sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a bit later. It's a bit later this year than last year, but it's always the second weekend. Well, you know, we used to send out a lot of packages, but you know, the way of the internet now, it's most of our advertising or blasts and everything are done on the internet and word of mouth. This competition gradually grew. Like when I first got it, it had 1,000 entries. It was very small. Then it jumped to something like 3,000, and then it got up to 4, and then it just like steadily climbed, and it stayed around where it is now for maybe about 5 years. I think people like to come to Las Vegas. It's a good time of the year because it's at the end of the year, and the teachers like to go party, and if the teachers are happy, the students are happy. And there's always something to do, and yeah, I think there's a lot of things. And I'm a big party person, so I have a great party at the end of the comp. So I think everyone comes here, gets in the Christmas spirit. It's Las Vegas. There's so much stuff to do here besides the dancing. And just word of mouth, I think people talk about it, and we have repeat business, and oh yeah, it's started to get on everyone's competition calendar. Oh, and the show, yeah. I think the two things probably are the show and the party. The party we're having in the actual nightclub here, which is great, and I have a DJ and percussionist coming, and it's really important to me that it's a real party. And then the show, yeah, I've been doing these shows for like 20 years, and everyone's saying, what's the theme this year? It's just a bit of this and a bit of that. It just depends what, like I did a show that was all Queen music, and then I did a show that was all classical music. But sometimes it's just nice to do a random show, like Giacomo and Melissa had a beautiful rumba. I knew they had it, so then I invited them to dance. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll use like a Christmas song this year, so I call it Carol of the Bells, but the Trans-Siberian Orchestra call it Sarajevo. But it's got a Christmas feeling to it, and so I thought, well, that'll be nice to start. And then I use usually some kind of upbeat music for the finale, and then I fill in the gaps Rick Robinson brings from Vibe in Utah, all the kids, so I always use them. And this year Louis Van Amstel's got his La Blast thing going on, so I said to him, well, why don't you put it in some kind of a show form and then I'll put it in the show. And he was like, well, I never done that like that before, so I'm hoping that he comes with a number that fits in the show. And then I picked up a couple of other numbers that I thought were interesting, numbers that I had seen. So I have a mix of this and a mix of that. But my thing in shows is to take you on a journey. So it's to constantly bombard you, and then you're like not sure what's coming next. So the shows are always a bit of this and a bit of that, you know.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
Music is always my inspiration. I've got to have great music. If it's not great music, I'm like dead in the water. So the individual numbers that I've picked, I've liked the music and I've liked the feel of them. So when I go to Ohio and they do all those numbers, I go, I want that one, or yeah, I'll take you up and down. Something's fast, something's fun, something's crazy. A lot of the judges are dancing this year. And when we do the judges' routines, we try to make them so they enjoy the rehearsals and they're fun. And it's not like a serious thing where they're like, oh my God, I've got to be on my game. It's more like they just go out and have fun, and the audience loves to see the judges dance. I think it makes them feel, oh, they're judging and maybe they do know something, you know.
Yes, it all makes sense. Well, good, and a few last words towards the viewers?
Well, if you've seen this video and you haven't come to the competition, next year, second weekend of December, please come. We'd love to have you. I promise you a good time.